for showing up.
Us.
I was just looking for you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
I've been here.
Where?
Right here.
I left about 30 seconds ago. To shit.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. You came into the bathroom.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you weren't looking for me. Your lie.
And I knew it was you in the bathroom. I didn't see you. I just knew it was you.
How?
Just could tell.
What was the giveaway?
I heard you walking down the hallway. I could tell from your stomps. Just being honest. All right. Shall we?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Check.
Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3.
啲龍烤先個火當然係美食。King Shower Shader or Herald Square.
All right.
Imagine if you could actually read it.
They're lost on their third for Leeway.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Son of a Boy Dad podcast. Today it is March 31st. Guys, it's close. April Fool's Day. Right around the corner. You guys got any trickery planned?
Nothing as of now. I wouldn't tell you if I did.
Smart man.
Wouldn't let the cat out of the bag. We should pretend that we forgot to upload the episode today.
True. People would love that.
And then this is the prank right now.
Yeah, people would really like that. Put it out at noon.
Ha! Fools. Do you guys ever pull an epic April Fool's prank on your parents or anything?
No, I never had any good ones. I don't even think I ever really got fooled either.
Impervious to foolery?
I don't think I was ever fooled. And I definitely did no fooling. I know you probably did.
He did.
Throwing cactus at people and shit.
You're a fool. You're a fooler.
I went in and at midnight and told my parents that I forgot about a homework assignment that I had. And they got pissed off. And then I was like, April Fool's, the master has struck again.
Holy shit. At midnight you did it?
Right after midnight, yeah.
That's a power move. How old were you? 18?
Yeah, I was probably in my late college. I was in grad school, I think.
You called your parents at 2 a.m.?
You fucking missed your homework again, Adam. He fried my ass.
Adam Ferrone. That's it. You're coming home. You're going to military school.
The gravy train's over. I wish I rode the gravy train. I didn't know riding of the gravy train. I should have.
No, neither. Francis, how you doing?
I'm a little loopy today. I'm not gonna lie. Something's going on. I'm a little like
New meds?
having a hard time with my balance a little bit. Kind of wobbly.
Are you concussed?
No.
That's never a good one.
No, I know. I just feel very almost as if I'm on drugs.
Did
You
you
know?
do any drugs this weekend?
No.
Francis.
You know what I did do? I went to Florida. And my mom's birthday was on. She's 2 days after mine. So
very nice.
Friday.
She must have been pissed.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. Had it been the other way around, it would have been a lot worse for the family.
True.
If my birthday had come 2 days after hers.
Yeah.
So my dad was performing in a talent show.
What was his talent?
He was reciting a Winston Churchill speech.
Why?
It's all starting to make sense now.
Yeah, this is really slid into focus.
Because he does this. He memorizes Winston Churchill speeches and then he recites them. That and fucking monologues from like Henry V.
Damn.
War stuff.
So he's a history buff.
He loves history and he loves good writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good speeches.
And he does it. He just breaks out into it. No,
Did he win?
Nobody asks.
Did he win?
Nobody says, "Hey, you don't know any Winston Churchill, do you?"
You don't know.
No, it wasn't a contest. It was sort of a variety show.
Got it.
And the island is Boca Grande. That's where they have a place, and it was called Boca Grande's Got Talent. And it was there were 2 MCs, and then various people came
Were they
up.
like comics?
Nobody did stand up. Everything was kind of in the vein of the show.
Yeah.
So my dad had to come up from the audience and interrupt the MCs because they had a bad hurricane, which I've told you guys about. My parents lost their home. And so they were talking about the hurricane, and then my dad came up and had gently adapted this Winston Churchill speech to be more rousing about rebuilding the island from the hurricane rather than fighting off the Nazis.
Yeah, of course.
Did people fuck with it?
Oh, he got a big applause, nailed it, didn't miss a line. He was pretty nervous about it.
Was it sick?
It was cool.
It sounds awesome.
Now,
sounds like your dad was leading the charge.
He was a good one. He was a good act. They did the Real Housewives of Boca Grande with a guy who was playing sort of an Andy Cohen moderator. That was very funny because it was 4 beautiful women and then one cross-dresser guy, and he was very funny.
Yeah.
Lots of golf puns. There was a guy who in the middle sang a song he had written for a musical many years prior, and that's me. Can you guys talk for a minute? I need to take this. I'm so sorry.
Totally fine.
Hold on.
Holy shit. It must be nice being like old and rich as fuck and then still having like a hobby.
Oh, yeah.
Where people are like going to applaud you.
Well, it's crazy for him to just drop that on us and then leave. That his dad recites Winston Churchill but he rewords them towards the tragedies that have affected him and his friends.
To rile people up. My initial instinct was to hate on it, but it's like if you're an older guy, like
it's probably awesome.
You need something.
Yeah.
You need a thing. And if it's nice for the people around, it's like, well, why not? What's wrong with it?
Exactly.
That's the hater in me, bro. I need to fucking kill the hater.
Peak Florida season, too.
Right now?
Great time to be out in Florida.
I know. Half the office was down there last week.
I know.
Every woman at Barstool was down in Florida this past week getting paid a fucking bag, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Big time.
But do you think they're going? Do you think people go now because of spring break? They want to get some young cock.
I think so.
Right?
I think that's the best time.
Well, isn't that like it's always a thing? Like creepy dudes will go down to spring break still.
Like Francis's dad.
Like Francis's dad.
He's at the fucking Fort Lauderdale like 3-tiered bar with his arm up, posted on a wall as reciting Churchill to a co-ed.
I never had a spring break.
Can I go once more into your breach, dear friend? I don't know if that's Churchill. You never went on one?
No, I never did it.
We used to go.
Yeah, I mean, I only was in school for
a year.
Dropped out before spring break was even a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would go. Everything good?
Yeah.
We would go to Lauderdale by the sea, but we wouldn't even like my friend's aunt had like a place that we would go to. It wasn't like a fucking rowdy spring break. We'd go play golf and shit. It wasn't crazy. So where'd you leave off with this?
Well, this guy in the middle of the show sang a song that he'd written for a musical. And I don't know if it was a Broadway musical or what, but it was a really lovely song. And he's standing up there and he's it's not obvious that he's super old. He was 91. And he sang with so much feeling, and it was very earnest and sweet. It was almost moving. Guess what this guy did in his life? He's an inventor.
Oh, okay.
The Post-it?
He invented...
Wait, no, don't say. It was a clue.
Okay.
Kraft's macaroni and cheese? The elbow of macaroni?
He invented 2 products that are things that are very popular with children.
Okay.
The Lego.
No.
Close.
Erector sets. Lincoln Logs.
Oh, I like those guesses, but no. One's a game.
Hot
Super
Wheels?
Soaker?
I'll give you
Connect 4?
No.
Sorry? Trouble?
It's a very physical game.
Twister.
Red Rover?
Bingo.
He invented Twister.
He invented Twister.
Jesus.
And he invented Nerf footballs, Nerf balls, maybe all of Nerf.
So is he a billionaire?
I think he's pretty well off, yeah.
Oh my God.
And
People are still playing Twister.
Yes, they are. Can you imagine being 91 and being able to look back on your life and say, my business accomplishments, what I did, are the most absolute joy-bringing things one could have done?
Yeah.
Nobody could ever
The pocket pussy,
indict him. Does that bring joy? I think that can bring some sadness.
There's
I think it
definitely a
brings
shame element. There's no shame in most Twister games.
Nobody ever finishes a game of Twister and says, "Oh, I got to get my life together.
What if your pants rip?
I really wish this was a real human being."
What if you have a really embarrassing game of Twister? Like you don't even make it after round 2.
Yeah,
You
you play a co-ed game and the girls realize you're only doing it to grope them.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, then similar to the pocket pussy.
Yeah.
Well, do you think he knew that it would turn into such a freaky ass game?
It has it?
Oh, people play
Naked Twister is like a thing.
Oh, they freaked it?
They freaked it.
Yeah.
I think that this guy, I mean, maybe, I don't know, he's a Boca Raton man.
Some things you just got to leave for the kids.
Well, the same thing happened with Nerf, right?
No.
You ever seen a woman stuff one up her
No.
the whole football?
You ever see the ladies
The football?
A
sitting on the
vortex.
Hot Wheels
first.
track,
Oh, with the propeller on the back?
Yeah, and then they
whistle, and it whistles
No.
out.
It whistles, yeah.
Yeah, she queefs it out.
That's
and
where that song "Make That Pussy Whistle" by Drake came from. That's where
Because
it came
she's
from.
shooting Nerfs.
Oh, man, that's devastating. They got to leave some of that shit for the kids.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, he said so. I don't know. I guess maybe he wrote musicals too, but he sang this song. It was unbelievable, and he's 91. I loved this guy.
What was the
great.
vibe of the song?
Heartfelt, sweet. It felt like something that would have played during the opening 10 minutes of that film Up.
Oh, I love that movie. You ever see it?
Yeah,
It's
but the first 10
phenomenal.
minutes are incredibly sad. That's what this felt like.
Yeah. I'd
Felt
say
like
that.
an incarnation
Yeah.
of that
That old
character singing the song to his dead wife
man. Interesting.
before he attaches a bunch of balloons to his house.
And before he finds fat Stephen Che to come along with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never finished Up, honestly.
Really?
I think all I saw was the beginning of
Oh,
it.
that movie's so good.
It's good.
Squirrel. He makes a.
That's not Up, is it?
Yeah, it is. Remember that he makes the thing for his dog, so his dog can
Oh, you're right.
speak?
You're right.
And all it says is just squirrel.
Yeah. He keeps getting distracted, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's hilarious.
funny.
Good gag. Something for
Spoilers.
the adults.
I mean,
Something for
I've
the
gone how
adults.
many weeks without spoiling White Lotus for you, and then immediately you spoiled Up. So fucking selfish. Rules for thee and not for me, I guess.
The
Ugh.
show, 90% of the way through, in the middle of the Real Housewives of Boca Grande one, where my godfather, by the way, was he was the Andy Cohen character,
Mhm.
and he's very theatrical and got a lot of stage presence. One of the moderators, someone came up to her on the side, one of the MCs, and whispered something to her, and she stopped the sketch in the middle and said, "I'm really sorry." And this is the kind of thing that had been happening the whole time,
Mhm.
where they were like, "I'm sorry, we have an urgent announcement, like blah blah blah," and it was part of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
But she goes, "I'm really sorry, like this is really important. This isn't part of the show. Is there a doctor here?
Mm.
Is there a doctor in the house?" Quite literally, is there a doctor in the house? That's what everyone says. Nobody ever says like, "Do we have a doctor available?"
Yeah, yeah.
And on an island in Florida among well-to-do people where there were 200 plus people in the audience, not a single doctor.
Really?
Can you believe that?
Well, I've heard that, especially on the plane situation, a lot of doctors will wait until the last second to see if there's another doctor because they don't want to have to wait for the ambulance to do all the paperwork and have to report to everybody. So I think there could have been just some doctors sitting on their hands being like, "I'm not ruining my night."
There was probably some doctor adjacent people, but maybe no one that actually practiced.
Probably someone who invented
You know, like I invented
penicillin.
Oxycontin. Yeah, like the
Yeah.
Sacklers.
Yeah, the Sacklers are definitely down there. I'm not a doctor.
Are they in pain?
Because there is an epidemic on pain right now.
Yeah.
We're fighting the war on pain.
I've got something that is no way addictive. How many years left would you say that they have?
Mr. Viagra was there.
Start them out on 150 milligrams.
Do they need to get rock hard right now?
So they stopped the show, and I thought that was going to be to ruin the show.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was real.
Yeah.
Something bad had happened. Everyone immediately presumed heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone kind of looking around nervously. They brought the house lights up.
Jesus.
It was bad.
Was it inside or outside?
Inside.
I was picturing outside this entire time.
I don't know why.
I don't know either.
It wasn't ancient Greece.
I was picturing like an outside stage.
I was picturing an amphitheater.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what he was thinking. Amphitheater.
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 Amphitheater?
Amphi. It's a soft PH, like
Amphitheater.
phone.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Say
I've been
it.
pronouncing it wrong my
Say
whole
it.
life.
Say it right.
You've been saying ampy?
I've been saying amphitheater.
Amphitheater.
Amphi.
I didn't know it was amphitheater.
Like amphibious.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Meaning
Should have got that.
two ways, probably.
Amphitheater.
I would guess that root is amphi,
Yeah.
meaning of two.
So say it.
I'm not going to say it like that.
Because you
ever.
can't say it.
That's not how it's
You
pronounced.
you have a speech impediment and you can't say amphitheater.
You have a speech impediment. You're the one that said amphitheater.
Don't gaslight me, bro. I'll fucking kick you in your head.
Let's move on here.
Yeah, let's move on. Sorry about that,
Okay.
Francis.
Sorry about
Listen, I'm
This guy.
sorry for
Harry
both
over
of you
here.
right now.
Clearly, someone woke
I guess
up
there's
on the
something
wrong side of the bed.
personal that he has going on.
I don't
Where
know.
you can't just say the word that we
I guess.
This is a real
easily
weird
let
he
him
said,
do.
he said kind of.
Like I get it, 3 weeks out
It's on
from
tapes.
kids coming into your life. It's stressful, but you
Oh,
don't have to bring
shit.
that to the podcast.
Talking about
bro.
his kids already? Oh, no.
They easily will kick you in the head too.
Damn.
No problem.
Oh,
Or I'll throw a
God.
kid at you. No problem.
Just
I'll
like that.
ball up a baby and throw him
That
at
kid's
you.
not being named Harry anymore. He lost it.
It is. I
No,
got
I'll
the text.
shave the
I got
kid.
the
They
text
won't
the
even
other
be
night.
Harry.
Two Francis's.
I got the text the other night.
Frank and Frankie.
Harry and Harry Jr.
No.
They're both being named Harry.
No, not after that.
Isn't that
fucking-
crazy?
How would one of them be junior?
It's just whatever one comes out second. Yeah, exactly.
But that would imply that the other one is the father.
No, senior. Or just OG.
Again, that's what that means.
Harry OG.
Harry first, Harry second. Harry 1, Harry 2.
Yeah.
Roman numerals.
That works.
Yeah.
But we did want to work in a junior at some point, so.
Holy shit.
Anyway, the house lights come up.
House lights come up. That took us a long time
To get to the house lights?
to get out of that.
Not really. Probably realistically like 1.5 minutes.
I enjoyed it though. That was tasty.
He's just purposefully obstinate.
Yeah. You got that one? Obstinate?
No. I'll have to look that one up
Right, I'm
later.
just going to go over your head.
All right,
Mhm.
continue.
So the house lights come up and everyone looks around and then they try to resume the show. And I thought, boy, oh boy, that'll be the death knell
Yeah.
of this whole show.
Yeah.
There's no way people will come back into a mirthful mood to laugh at whatever's happening on stage after finding out that someone they probably know just had a heart attack,
Yeah.
right? That's the presumption.
Yeah.
Dude, these people were dialed back in so fast, so fucking fast. And then my godfather had the wit to say, to bring everyone back, he goes, well, it wouldn't be Boca Grande if we didn't have that interruption of needing a doctor for a heart attack.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, that's not the first time one of these shows. He said something like that.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Killed.
Everyone laughed. They were right back in.
Hell yeah.
And you do realize that when you are hanging out among a group of elderly people like that, and it's a talent show or a gathering of 200 plus people, there's a pretty good chance someone's going to have a heart attack.
Yeah,
So
one
did
monkey
someone
don't
have a
stop
heart
the
attack?
show.
I never found out. When we walked out, the show ended 10 minutes later. There were 2 fire trucks there and an ambulance. So that's what I would assume. I never found out.
That's crazy.
I try to respect privacy.
100%. We had I had a flight when I was coming home from somewhere last week. I don't remember. Oh, when I was coming home from Seattle, or Portland, we had paramedics had to come on the flight.
Really?
Yeah.
When you landed?
When we landed.
But you didn't have to do an emergency landing.
We'd have to do emergency land, which was surprising because they came over the speaker like an hour into like a 5-hour flight, and they were,
Yeah.
was there a doctor on board? No. And then we just did the next 4 hours, and then they were like, the paramedics have to come on, and then it was just an old guy.
Is there a doctor on board? No. How about a guitarist? Do we have a cattle driver? In seat 13E? No?
Yeah, but he was just an old dude. And he was fine.
He was just dead.
No, he was fine. He walked off the plane completely fine.
Pilot trying to organize a game of like murder mystery.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long flight, so trying to see what sort of occupations we have here.
Any lawyers?
Any ranchers? I need a kindergarten teacher and an unruly student. Who would like to play the mischievous little elf?
Do you think if you're a paramedic, that's something that you dread or enjoy? The storming of an A380 as it hits the runway.
I think if you're working at the airport, you know that's the deal. Like that's all the airport paramedics get to do, probably.
Why would you dread it though? What do you mean?
Well, it's kind of like they're front and center. I could see getting a little stage fright from that, getting a little nervous.
Forgetting the beat of staying alive.
Yeah, I mean, like the plane lands. You have 200 people on a plane that desperately want to get off of the plane.
Yeah, but a paramedic comes on. I don't know anyone who's such a dick as to be like, me first.
No, I don't mean that.
I've got a connection.
That's not what I mean. I mean, like, do you think the paramedics are like, because you get on that plane, you're pretty much on stage.
Yes, but
everyone's looking right at you.
And
everyone's like, who is it? Who's the guy that's going to make me miss my
With the benefit of everybody in the plane, admiring you and being probably relieved to see you and saying, finally, the expert's here.
Yeah.
It's not like comedy where that guy could then bomb the resuscitation. And everyone is like, wow, this fucking guy.
He could mangle it.
Well, he could, but we probably wouldn't know.
Nah,
he just mangles the rhythm, and then he's like, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's been dead since Iowa.
Yeah. Dude, his eyes were open 30 seconds
Why
ago.
didn't you guys land earlier?
You made it way worse.
What did you do?
He wanted to get off.
Yeah.
Did anyone hold his mouth closed? What's going on here?
It was, though. We had two come on, and one of them seemed like he was a little nervous, and the other one was like a showman.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, guys, don't worry. We're going to be quick, all right?
You guys like Winston Churchill?
Yeah.
So who won the talent show?
Again, it wasn't a competition. It was sort of just a...
like a vaudevillian?
Yeah, one to the next.
Tom Thumb.
It was great. It was really good. There were some really talented people. And I did think that, again, a lot of these people were advanced in age.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that the preparation for this show and to do some sort of line memorization and all of that, the rehearsals, what a good thing. What a good thing. I'm always looking for ways to stave off dementia.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that memorizing lines is a good way to do that.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Any sort of memorization, just activating the brain, trivia,
puzzles,
knitting.
Yeah.
Knitting's
playing an
great
instrument,
for it.
perhaps.
Do you think that a lot of people in the audience felt like a need to be charitable audience members and like kind of something that's not that funny, but you realize that this might be the last laugh that someone ever gets?
No, because one person really bombed.
Oh.
They really, really bombed and
then pretended to die afterwards.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here.
Imagine having a heart attack. I actually need the ambulance and 2 fire trucks.
Wake up, sit up in the ambulance. No, keep going. 5 more blocks.
What was their act?
I'm not gonna say because I don't want.
Yeah, I'm sure they listen.
They don't, but I don't want to discredit. But they were trying to be funny, and it went on, and nobody was laughing. Nobody,
not even like a pity laugh.
Dude, I'm telling you, nobody. It was as if people didn't get that they were trying to.
Tell us
funny.
what they did.
Was this person like?
I shan't. I won't.
Was this person like a new person in the community?
They weren't that old.
I'm not leaving breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Were they hot?
Like they just made the age minimum.
They're 65.
I'm gonna leave this open. I'm gonna let this be vague.
Dying.
Were they
I've said too much. I already told the story about the guy almost dying.
Song, stand up.
Not doing it.
Were they
sketches?
Were they black?
They were doing improv.
Were they black people?
No.
Can I get a place?
Can I get a skin condition?
Florida, you fucking idiot.
Psoriasis.
All right, I got one more thing, which is that I was supposed to fill my prescription. I had filled my prescription right before I left.
Here
right?
we go.
And this
And
explains
this
the
explains
loopiness.
the loop. You
And
I
the phone
forgot.
You could have
calls.
just skipped the whole live concert thing and just gone to this.
Oh, you don't know where this is
You're
going.
you're withdrawing from Wellbutrin.
No, I forgot to pick up the new prescription, right? So I
Yeah.
went down there with no pills, no Wellbutrin. And
You can transfer it though.
You're like the
Well,
mom
so-
of White Lotus.
I had to, I then called a pharmacy in Florida and asked them if they could, I had my doctor call them and put in an emergency, 10 pill
Yeah.
holdover. But the insurance company denied that refill because they had just done the one in New York. So then the one in Florida said, you need to call your pharmacy in New York and have them send the pills back so that we can then fill. It was a very challenging thing, but she was on her game.
Yeah.
Right. So I called them and had to leave a voicemail in New York. And then she called me back and was like, okay, we'll send it back. And then the woman in Florida said, well, since this is only a 10 pill refill and you still have a $50 copay, do you want me to just expand it by calling your doctor to the full month? You're going to pay the same copay. And I was like, okay, sure. And she handled all that. And I went and picked it up that day. Let me tell you something. I was so fucking impressed by the pharmacist at this place in Florida.
So amazing to get a good pharmacist.
It occurred to me, if there is a place in America where you're going to get the top of the line pharmacist,
Oh, it's got to be Florida.
it's Florida.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
Boca Garden specifically.
Boca Grande. They have been fucking dealing with hard of hearing people who are pulling out shopping receipts
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
prescriptions, and I don't know. My last month it was this. And
Yeah.
they are the best of the best.
Mhm.
These are battle hardened, tried and tested pharmacists.
There used to be one
Big time.
at City Chemist in Dumbo.
Well,
This
that's
woman
where I
named
used to get my stuff filled. Yeah.
This woman named Stephanie. Oh my God, she was the best pharmacist. Nice, discreet. She would be proactive about getting stuff refilled. You didn't have to do anything. She was She probably moved down to Florida. She probably got called up to the big leagues. Honestly,
Was it Stephanie with a PH or an F? It's probably PH. In which case, to Harry, it'd be Stephanie.
Stephanie. You got 90 seconds to get derailed on this one, champ.
No,
Is that Stephanie to you? Do you call her Step for short?
Your stepsister.
I'm laughing.
That's
These are callbacks.
I'm amused.
These are good bits.
It's
You
funny
amuse me.
because wasn't to really call it back together, wasn't Florida one of the epicenters of the Sackler stuff? Like wasn't like weren't a lot of the pharmacies that were
I think it was easier to get a prescription down there.
Yeah, because you were probably just like pretend to be an old person.
I think you just had to like fuck the doctor or some shit.
Yeah, it was probably
That's what happens in Dope Sick.
Yeah, it was the Broward County boys. It was probably just Nikki Smokes just fucking the doctor.
Yeah.
And fucking Pharmacy Stephanie.
Yeah, pick up a couple Oxycoffins,
Shout out to
80s.
Pharmacy Stephanie.
a couple Oxy 80s.
Not funny, bro.
That's what they call them, Oxycoffins.
Oh, I know, bro. It's just not funny.
It is. It's
We've
hilarious.
had a lot of soldiers lost to those fucking things. And you think it's funny? Fucking
You're the one
sad,
that's
bro.
fucking doing them.
No, I'm doing Tylenol with codeine, dumbass.
Shit.
Tylenol with codeine. What are you crushing up the Tylenol and pouring it into the codeine?
It's coated in codeine.
I know.
You don't fucking
I
know
do.
shit. You've never done a fucking hard drug in your life. You've been on the straight and narrow.
Bruh, I do hard drugs all the time.
I'm trying to help you out.
Bro, what are you talking about? You know I do hard drugs.
You know I love that shit. You know I cannot function. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't on hard drugs.
Bro, take that back. I love Oxy.
Look between my toes. Look at the track marks between my feet.
No, Hairball, you don't do hard drugs, but at what point is the amount of weed you
Oh my
smoke
God.
considered a hard drug?
Here we go again with this fucking propaganda.
What's your dispensary of choice these days?
With this propaganda.
This potaganda.
This propaganda.
I can't stop fucking reading this out of the corner of my eye.
I've been getting fucking just destroyed online the last 48 hours.
Deservedly.
Because of your terrible takes.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, look, something you got to consider is it's a comedy podcast.
Nope. We're not doing that. That's
well, the one thing that bothered me, I will say, I do the left lane camping thing. That I'll admit that.
If you didn't listen to the last episode, he's referring to the fact that we uncovered that Harry is a left lane driver and camps out on the highway and will not move over if faster cars come up behind him.
It's not quite that. It's when I'm going like 20 over.
You said 10 over.
I did not.
You said the speed limit was 70 and you were going 80. If I'm going 80.
If I said that, I was just saying that because I didn't know people were. I didn't know it was. I think I was trying to beat around the bush of speeding because I thought that was less socially acceptable than going 10 over.
You know what we call this right now?
Lying.
Patchwork. This is you patching up holes.
What I will say is,
it's not a permanent fix. It's a patch.
What I will say is
shoddy work.
The shopping cart thing was the one that bothered me the most because I thought that was pretty clearly a joke. I haven't been to a grocery store where I've taken a shopping cart outside in over 6 years.
I totally believe that.
So I don't understand
the odds of Harry being in a grocery store.
Where I'm bringing a shopping. What am I
Let
bringing?
alone
A
cart.
Yeah. I'm gonna wheel it back to my apartment.
Just gonna ride it downhill in New York.
And I haven't been to a grocery store with my parents in over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing about me just letting the cart fly down the hill and hitting other cars was a joke. I do not do that. But people were DMing me like, "I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna kill you." Like straight up shit like that, which I've realized too. If you just reply and you're like, I'm gonna find you first and I'm gonna kill you, usually they reply back and they're like, haha, just kidding.
Or they'll be like, totally uncool, man.
Yeah, I was hitting people back with a lot of those. I'll find you first.
That's what it takes for you to respond to DMs, death threats.
Yeah. I was replying just being like, you better hope I don't find you.
Wow.
Yeah,
they hit a nerve.
I was more just bored, just laying in bed.
But I do agree with that like on a level, people like will take things that we say clearly in jest and be like, Lil Sass is actually a fucking scumbag.
Oh yeah.
Not indicative of your character.
No, he is.
I was also
kind
of confused about the whole which maybe this is me and I'm completely wrong about this, but the whole privileged thing. I don't understand how that played a part at all. They were like this privileged fucking prick sitting in the left lane.
Anytime you say something,
the people that are riding my ass are in like BMW or Audi i8s, and they're going fucking 900. I'm the privileged one because I'm in a fucking Toyota Corolla.
I'm surprised at your confusion over this. This is you. Anytime you say something that people don't agree with, they'll just throw out the stuff.
Yeah,
they'll throw all this stuff at you.
Yeah.
Anytime I say something that people don't like, even if I'm like, boy, I think blue's a nicer color than yellow. People are like, that's what you would say because you're born on fucking third base. Yeah, I wish my dad taught me that blue is better than yellow. Growing up, we had no blue. Okay? Must be nice to have blue. Everyone knows it's a more expensive paint. Houses in blue, those children 48% more likely to graduate with a degree.
It is pretty crazy. Dude, we posted, or the clip was posted, the second I started getting not kind messages about it, the second I started getting them, I was like, they're going to post this on the Barstool main page, 1,000%.
Yeah, of course.
Not any other clips that we've had that have gotten done well because they were funny. They're going to post the clip of me looking poorly.
But it's not that. It was a societal divisive topic.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, there were a few people that agreed with you.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's exactly the same thing as my shoulder stopping thing.
Yeah, no, not really, because that was more
praise.
More people were agreeing with you than disagreeing with you.
More people were like, you're a hero. Nobody thought you're a hero.
Which this isn't like a hill that I'm gonna die on. I don't give a fuck.
You drove in the middle lane.
Yeah, I don't care.
But I also made it much more clear that I was somewhat kidding, if not fully kidding, when I did my thing by calling myself a hero.
And you were not kidding.
If you
and this is a comedy podcast.
Right, you weren't kidding. You were angry.
You chose that moment.
Look, I don't like.
You
it's
justified your point. Where are they going?
Yeah, and look, like it doesn't really bother me that much because like I know in my head what I'm talking. If I'm going 60 in the fast lane and someone's riding my ass, I'm gonna get over.
And I didn't. That's not.
If
how
I'm going
any of us took
85 in the fast lane and then there's a dude behind me that's going 150, I'm not going to get over because realistically he's going to fly around me and then fly around someone else, and then we're all going to get caught in traffic because he's going to split.
It's a whole different tune than
because he's going to wrap his car around a tree.
He brought out the spackle now.
Yeah, he brought out the caulk.
Yeah, pretty soon he'll be
No,
sanding.
I mean it's like I like you see these cars that are like I drive all the time. I drive constantly. I'm always driving from city to city. Shit like that. I don't wrap my car around a tree.
That did not sound like someone who drives all the time.
I don't know, but I'm saying
I'll get behind the wheel.
Why are we defending these people that are driving like they're putting everyone else in danger? Why is that the person that I'm supposed to be like, oh yeah, excuse my manners, let me get over to the right lane for you so you can go 200 miles per hour.
This is a classic technique, by the way. Where you are now taking yourself away and pointing to a far more nefarious cause.
But that's what it when I drove home from Stanford.
To take attention off of yourself.
When I drove home from Stanford, I went Friday, Saturday. Every night that I was going home, it would be like the streets would be pretty empty. The only other streets on the cars would be cars that were like GTA 5 fucking tricked out. Like BMWs going 900 miles per hour with like no license plate on the back. Those are the people that I'm supposed to be like, oh, let me follow the rules of the road and get over so that you can go.
Tommy G.
Yeah.
Why are going from 80 to 120 to 150 to 200 miles an hour?
Yeah.
And why am I supposed to get out of the way just because they're going at the speed of light? Just because they've cracked the sound barrier because they go Mach 5?
Genuinely though, why?
Now you're going to say it would actually be dangerous for you to switch lanes.
Yes, because if you get switch lanes and they're weaving, then you might simultaneously switch with them.
But anyways, yeah, that's all I had to say. I don't fucking let shopping carts smash into... And I apologize to everyone who was like molested when they were working at a fucking Star Market when they were 13 and now they're furious with me. People are DMing me being like, you have no fucking idea how hard that job is. Moving the carts. Mm-hmm. I'm not the guy to be mad at. I wasn't actually throwing carts into the middle of the road. So
you weren't the one molesting.
I wasn't molesting. Mm-hmm. Also, Kansas City. I was never booked to perform in Kansas City. Stop fucking DMing me about Kansas City. People are so mad at me about Kansas City.
Hang on. I'm going to Kansas City.
I was never supposed to perform there.
I will be. If you'd like to come see a comedian in Kansas City, come see me.
I am going back to Kansas City.
Hold on a minute. This
Bob
is
Dylan's song.
Yes. I'm going to be there May 2nd and 3rd. That's when I'll be there at the Comedy Club of Kansas City. Tickets at punchup.live/Francis Ellis. Also Dallas after that.
I'm going back to Kansas City. I talked to my agent last night. I don't know what happened with that, but it was like the show was canceled. The show was never supposed to happen. It was canceled, and then last night, I guess people went to the show, not knowing it was canceled.
People actually went.
Yes, and I DM'd a lot of those people back because a lot of them were DMing me. I got DMs from people being like, "Never going to support you again. Hope you fail."
Yeah. Wow, life. You had a rough night of DMs.
Rough night of DMs.
For a guy who doesn't ever check his DMs.
No, I have said that before. I read every DM. I don't respond to any of them. I was replying last night, though.
Boy, don't you think that's a little not so man of the people-ish? You'll read everything they say, but keep them in the dark?
Well, if it's like something like that, I'm going to reply.
What's your reply rate?
I don't know. Probably like 40 to 50%.
Of all DMs that come in?
Well,
that's too much.
When people, no, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I read most of them, or a lot of them, not most maybe, but I will, if someone says something meaningful or nice, I will typically respond.
Yeah, I do that.
If they're like,
you saved my life. This
or
saved my life.
It's more like if they're like, you know, I'm going through divorce too, and I'm having a really hard time. Any advice? I'll get into contact with that person usually.
Or they ask you for advice.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I just want to clear up the Kansas City thing, though. Because genuinely, people are mad. I wasn't supposed to perform in Kansas City.
Bro, there's probably 4 people who are mad.
No, there was like 200 tickets sold for the show, I guess. So,
damn.
Fuck you. There was a lot of people that were mad. I wasn't supposed to perform there. I will be coming back there, so just keep an eye out.
Fool me once.
Twice, actually. I fooled them twice because you canceled the other one.
Well, then shame on them. Shame on them. Then why are you even apologizing?
We were quite vocal about that, though.
We were. We were.
Yeah.
I was not vocal about this because I didn't know that I was booked there. So I apologize. You got full refunds, but I apologize if you were planning on going to the show last night. The show was never supposed to happen. It will happen at a future date. Probably not for like 6 months or so, though. Anyways.
In other news, darling, song, darling, hashtag kindness is cool.
Now that I've addressed all my haters, how are you fellas doing? How was your guys' weekends?
Guys, the college basketball season is here, and we know you're as excited as we are to watch some big upsets throughout the tournament. I guess there haven't been that many upsets this tournament. Pretty chalky, but I've still enjoyed it regardless. And it's because of the good folks over at Game Time.
Game Time.
Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to showtime. Plus, Game Time Picks feature makes it even easier to find the great deals off the seats that you want. The last-minute tickets from the tournament are up to 60% off quickly and easily. I was looking at tickets for down in San Antone. Oh, my goodness, there are some good games. Go Blue Devils. There are also some great curated deals for all tiers of tickets, and you know you're getting the top option when you click on that super deal icon, the super deal icon. What are you waiting for? I'm going to buy those Duke tickets right now at Game Time Picks. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BOYDAD for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use code BOYDAD for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it?
Game time. All right, let's take a minute here to talk about Rose Sparks. Rose Sparks are a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for stronger, harder erections. They hit the bloodstream faster because they dissolve under the tongue, and getting hard faster means having more sex. After they dissolve, they work in 15 minutes on average. Rose Sparks can give guys thicker, longer erections than you usually have because they get fuller. Rose Sparks give you the boost to last longer, so it's more fun for you both. Rose stays active in your system up to 36 hours, so you can go back to back to back, round after round, and be ready the morning after.
Of course, we're talking about sex.
Be ready for play with Rose Sparks. With Rose Sparks, you can get the erection you've always wanted.
Dream erections. Literal dream erections that you fantasize cutters. About.
Can't put pants on. Row connects guys with a medical provider 100% online, so there's no awkward conversation with in-person providers.
If you laid face down in the sand with one of these erections, it would change the water patterns of the local oceans.
Ants would build a colony around it.
Yeah.
If approved, treatment ships directly to their door. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off Sparks on a recurring plan.
You could hang your wet clothes from your erect penis. They would be dry within instants.
You said it, brother. Just absolutely
beautiful penises.
Full and thick erections.
Right, Seth?
Oh, yeah.
Connect with a provider at row.co/sun to find out if the prescription Row Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/sun for $15 off your first order. Just guys, so you know, before being prescribed medication, patients must complete an online medical visit and qualify for medication based on their health, medical history, and the discretion of a Row-affiliated healthcare provider. It's a prescription ED treatment that contains sildenafil and tadalafil, the active ingredients
Tadalafil
in other main erection medicine. That's it. I found myself last night quite late in what I could only describe as the densest honey hole of people on Earth that would know who I am.
Mm.
Any idea where that would be?
The Brooklyn Public Library.
Close. That's a good guess.
The fucking breakdown lane at the Holland Tunnel?
No. It was the oversized baggage collection area at LaGuardia, where half the bags were ski bags and half were golf bags. Just white bros as far as the eye could see, coming home from Colorado and fucking golf bachelor parties in Florida. We're all standing there. I'm telling you, every one of those dudes was like, You?
That's
guy from
hilarious.
Barstool?
You should have done some material. Given them 10.
Yeah, we were all waiting for bags, and you know what I did?
What'd you do?
They were just sliding all the bags out, and they were running out of room on the sort of slide, which made me feel as though they were going to wait to put more bags in until someone. So I started rearranging the bags and making them as organized as possible so that they could. I actually stood up on the slide. I got up.
Really?
And the fact that these people didn't clap.
You took charge.
I don't know what else you need to
Wait,
see
they
from
knew
me.
who you were and you took charge?
I think I took charge because they knew who I was.
Yeah.
Oh, that would make me less likely to.
I wanted to give them a little taste of who I am. You know, I'm the guy who takes 2 shopping carts and returns them. I'm the guy who, if someone's camped out in the left lane, I will flash my lights and honk my horn.
Yeah, of course.
Not even for my sake, because I don't drive that fast.
Someone
Just say,
could be pregnant.
Get over. Get over.
100%, yeah.
You're ruining the road.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who never has a phantom comedy show in Kansas City.
Who always shows up in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time you canceled any show.
I don't.
I do.
I
When
sure
we had
don't.
5 shows booked together and you canceled all of them.
You know,
It doesn't sound like Francis. Are you sure that wasn't Julio or?
No.
you get the wrong guy.
No.
Also, by the way, you tried hitting 5 road dates when you got a fucking noose hanging from your chandelier.
Who's about to swing to the road
Every
like
morning
Tarzan.
you're like,
You
don't
got to
get on
get
the
you
chair.
a longer noose.
Don't
so
get
you
on
can
the
get
chair.
mobile with it.
Well,
Sleep with my noose. Sleep
Yeah.
with my noose around my neck.
noose is loose as a caboose. I'm a goose.
This brother is spitting fucking bars right now.
I'm the kind of guy that when I get my groceries, I take the cart and I just kick it as far as I can into the street.
I try to I wait till an
Scratch up
old
a
lady
car.
comes out.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Shove it right at her and try and mow her down.
The grocery stores that I've been to in the last 6 years don't even have shopping carts. They have just something you can carry, a basket.
Basket and a security guard who has
Yeah.
like 3 cone drill ability because they're getting robbed so much.
I love the baskets, though. I do.
Oh, yeah.
I really like them. I like filling them up. I do get a little annoyed if it's a heavy grocery run for myself, and I start having to really perch items on top.
Yeah.
Because then I think to myself, why didn't I just take a cart? But it feels ridiculous to take a cart.
Where are you taking a cart?
At those tiny ass grocery
Whole
stores.
Foods.
Whole
I go to Whole
could
Foods
see.
a lot.
Paycheck.
I'm there a lot.
I could see Whole Foods. They don't have any of those really around me though, so I just go to those small ass grocery stores where the lanes are like this thin.
Yeah, those where everything's really overpriced.
Yeah.
I saw a
D'Agostino's.
Oh yeah.
a
Chabul.
TikTok of
one?
a Whole Foods that was that had a line down the block on a
Oh,
Saturday.
Shit.
Not
That's
surprised.
fucking insane. Why would you ever do that? There's a billion grocery stores in New York.
When I used to go to Trader Joe's when I lived in East Village, I would get there if it was like a weekend. I would get there and I would have to wait outside for
Yeah.
like a good 10 minutes.
Trader
What?
Joe's has a
Yeah.
line usually.
Why?
One in,
'Cause they're
one
just
in, one out
packed.
policy.
Bro, it's not that good. There's no grocery that is that good.
And Trader
No.
Joe's is cheap and it's good food.
So what though? There's like a fucking Safeway around the block.
Those chocolate covered salted almonds they have are
You're
pretty
waiting in
dynamite.
line for
Brother,
that?
your privilege is screaming right now.
That
Fall
I
back.
won't. That I'll go
Fall
to
back,
the
please.
cheaper. I think your privilege that you'll
Your
only
privilege
eat
is it's
Trader
making me
Joe's.
uncomfortable.
That you're so locked in on
Could
Trader
you please
Joe's
track
that
check
you
your
won't help
privilege?
the bodega. You won't go to the bodega that's owned by the
Brother, the
underprivileged illegal.
bodega is more expensive than Trader Joe's. Your privilege.
Yeah, but you're supporting a local business. You want to put your money into the corporations? That's kind of weird, bro.
brother, you're when you're
Oh,
less
what-
privileged, like some of us on the show. You have to go to Trader Joe's because the meat is cheaper.
No, because your dad is a shareholder at Trader Joe's. That's why it's cheaper, because you get a fucking discount.
Yeah, it's
My dad's on the board, actually.
It's no secret that Harry has won that raffle ticket card that they give out every day 17 times.
Yeah. It's like fucking Whitey Bulger winning the lottery in Boston.
Skipping the line at Trader Joe's. Sorry, my dad owns the
My
place.
dad's Joe.
Yeah, my dad's
Yeah.
And he's not a trader. He's actually extremely loyal.
Harry's the only guy who can walk in the outdoor.
Like that scene in Batman. I'm sure we could get a couple tables together. I
I
don't know
own
if
the
they're going to let us do. It's all right. I own the place.
Yeah.
Skipping the line.
Yeah.
Skipping the line at Trader Joe's
Sir,
must feel
your
incredible.
friends are swimming in the mango display.
If it makes anyone feel any better as well, I also don't go grocery shopping. I Uber Eats every meal.
You've made that clear. That's privilege. We get it. You're doing well.
I get it. I'm privileged.
You're doing well. Just paying huge delivery fees and getting banged for service things and all that. Throwing all your dirty plastic in the trash.
Things are falling. I'm falling back hard on spending.
Falling back on spending? Cutting back on spending.
Cutting back on spending.
Falling back means that you're starting to spend more.
Mm.
Well, I think the Freudian slip, you're falling back on spending.
Mm. I'm cutting back on spending, though.
No, you're not.
I am. Big time.
What's one thing that you cut back on?
Well, I bought another monitor, which was a mistake. And
so you're falling back
I
into
will
spending
say
as
it
a
was
comfort
because
activity.
I'm going to Winnipeg this weekend, and I thought I was going to make a lot more money than I'm going to make.
Then you realize that the Canadian dollar is...
I went on a little bit of a spree. I was like, you know what? I do need a new monitor, even though I just bought a new one 6 weeks ago. And then I bought a $300 monitor.
Dude.
And then I tried to return it, and I can't return it. If I want to return it, I have to go to the USPS and like ship it. So I'm just keeping it. So now I have 4 monitors.
I get that. I get what you've done there. I get that feeling. There was a period. Do you remember when the period I went through, what I didn't tell you guys, where I bought all the clothes and all the shit, was that I had gotten an offer to rent my place upstate for the entire year. Yeah. And it was from a couple whose house had burned down in the California fire. Yeah. Where was that again?
California.
What was the name of that neighborhood that burned down?
Pasadena?
Palisades. So their house had burned down, and there was an offer to rent my place for the entire year. Dang. And I was like, holy shit. I calculated exactly how much I would get from that after taxes and deducting my mortgage and fees and all that. And I was like, holy shit. I mean, I can go out and buy all these clothes. They bailed. Oh. They ended up buying a new home in LA. And I'm like, fuck, how do I commit arson to renew their need
Burn
for
down
my
their new house?
Yeah. And at that point, I'd taken all the tags off the clothes.
Yeah.
So, which were non-returnable anyway because it was a sample sale.
Tough.
Final sale.
Tough.
So, yeah, I guess the lesson there is do not spend money
you don't have.
You hope to have as a result of a natural disaster.
Do not spend money that you're expecting.
Yeah.
So nobody has been cutting back on spending.
No, I actually have been. I've been better than Harry.
Nobody has given an example of cutting back on spending.
Can I say this?
I'll
give you an example. I'll give you an example.
Been eating healthier though.
I was,
which is same.
I was out late last week doing shows. Yeah, and it was probably I got off because I got bumped. There were so many people that bumped me at the stand. Donnell Rollins.
Yeah,
I already said this.
You said it.
And so I ended up going on super late and getting out at like I don't know 12:20 or something like that. Yeah, something late. And I didn't want to take a city bike home because it was cold and dark, and I didn't want to take a cab or an Uber because they're expensive. So I took the subway home.
How much would the cab or Uber have costed?
Probably like $35-$40 or some shit, you know. So I took
that's cutting back on spending.
Yeah, I took the Uber, which was I took the subway, which was 12 minutes away. So I had to wait 12 minutes, and then when it finally came, I'm not kidding you. Every single train car that I saw
was packed.
No, had at least 4 homeless people sleeping on it.
12:20. Coming from Union Square.
Dead sleep and fully prone across a bench.
Oh yeah.
So I got on and started singing to them.
You started reciting Churchill.
Yeah.
So you saved $30?
Yeah, I guess so. Developed a nose infection from the scent of rotting leaves.
I didn't. I stopped booking first class plane tickets. That's a start.
What do you mean?
Be nice that you were doing that. I haven't booked a first class plane ticket in a long time.
I got upgraded immediately.
I flew coach down to Florida and back.
Dang. Jesus Christ!
I booked coach instant upgrade. But I booked Coach because I had to book Mook's flights too, because I decided that I wanted him to come to Winnipeg, even though the flights were expensive. But it's because it's gonna be my birthday, and I don't really feel like spending my birthday just in a hotel room in Winnipeg.
You're gonna spend it
So I'm
in a
gonna
hotel
spend
room
it in a hotel
playing
room,
duos.
in a hotel room next to Mook's hotel room alone, playing video games.
So he's basically your birthday present to yourself is Mook's
Exactly.
presents.
Yes.
Just to have somebody around that like will open for you and makes a little bit less money than you.
Yeah. He's probably gonna make like the same amount of money as me, realistically, because I bought his flights.
Yeah, that's sick then.
Yeah.
Job creator.
Job creator.
That's fucking nice.
Mm.
What do you want for your birthday? Oh, you guys were supposed to have a gear off
We
last
were.
week. It was
Yeah, but
scheduled on my calendar.
now I'm in this freeze. I'm in this spending freeze. I'm gonna have to wait on that reel I wanted.
I've already got my gear ready to go.
So you have not cut back on spending at all. In
I
fact,
haven't
you're
bought
spending more.
gear in months.
We are
Because
7
you have it
days.
all.
We are 7 days into my new billing cycle, into my new balance on my credit card, and I looked at it today. I've spent $126 in 7 days.
That's pretty solid.
That's pretty fucking
I
good.
thought you were gonna say $126,000.
No,
So you don't pick up the bill when you're with your parents?
no. Thank God. No offense
Do you?
to anyone who does. I mean, that's awesome that you do.
I always do.
That's cool. I dig that.
I don't let my parents pay for it. If I'm going to any type of meal with them, I'm always paying for it.
That's why
Has
you're
to.
my favorite host.
Given that I currently have negative $126, my parents are worth exactly negative 50-something times, 50,000 times what I'm worth. I don't know. So it would make sense that they
good
are.
math there,
Well, you'd have to do the negative.
because negative times negative equals positive.
There you go.
You know that, Ron?
Yes.
You probably didn't know
His
that.
dad's a mathematician, of course. he knows.
Scientist.
Same thing.
We can't just change it every day, every week.
Physicist.
Supposedly.
That is cool that you buy the bill, that you pick up the bill.
Rome, what do you want? What do you want
For my birthday?
for your birthday and for your big day
Well, big day.
for the family?
When's your birthday?
April 25th?
I knew it. I was gonna say 26th though.
And yours is
So
what?
you didn't know.
April 5th.
April 5th.
Maybe just a dinner of us guys. Maybe we go back to Fort Charles?
Fort Charles would be nice.
You gonna be able to slip away?
No, God, no.
You got a lot of mouths to feed. Yeah.
Maybe you guys go to Fort Charles?
I'm
yeah,
not
we
taking
zoom.
Harry to Fort Charles again. Are you out of your mind?
I'll bring one of my monitors. We can zoom you. And
Last time he
Having a
was there,
monitor?
Yeah.
Fort
one,
Charles.
one of the nicest restaurants in New York didn't even take his fucking hat off the whole time.
then- Me?
Yeah.
That's not true. I didn't wear hats back then.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
I remember you wearing a hat and a hoodie.
Mm.
They didn't even tip.
Yeah.
You said, why should I tip these guys? They're wearing white gloves. They're already richer than me.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Gaz goes there once a week. Best burger joint in town still. He's always posting the white gloves of them cutting the burger up.
Yeah.
It is nice.
It is
a
funny
nice
when
spot.
people act like they're like food connoisseurs.
Well, I think Gaz is like a burger guy. That's his
Yeah.
thing. He ranks burgers.
But that's also like,
And I believe him.
yeah, I guess I believe him.
I trust him.
But it's like you don't need to like know a lot to know what the best burger is, I think. I guess that's common, man.
I feel like you kind of do. I had 7th Street burger the other night. Phenomenal. Diarrhea the next day was brutal.
I heard 7th Street is amazing.
It's good.
It's smash burger though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Gaz doesn't like smash burgers. You should know that.
I did not know that.
I was in Red Hook where his top burger is, but I went to Hometown Barbecue.
Yeah, I love that place too.
Fucking insane.
That's
What'd you pick
awesome.
up?
I got there right when they opened. They have a
You got
beef
a
rib.
picture of the plate?
Of course.
You got a plate pick?
Of course. I got a beef rib that's $40, and it was maybe the best. I've been to every great barbecue city in the
Your
fucking
privilege
country.
is showing, brother.
Every single
$40
one.
on a beef rib.
Look at that plate.
Wow.
The beef rib was insane.
That's crazy.
But I waited in line like it was a goddamn Whole Foods on a Saturday.
I love
Got
it.
there at 12 when it opened, and waited in line for probably 40 minutes to get the food. It's fucking insane.
That's a plate right there.
So hungry.
I probably spent I think it was $126 for that plate.
Jesus Christ, that looks good.
It was just like a pulled pork sandwich, brisket.
Slaw.
Could have wiped out my
Little
credit
slaw.
card debt.
I'm not
Yeah.
a huge slaw guy.
I should have. Yeah, it's nice to have a like a fiber in there to kind of drag the barbecue through your body.
Big time.
Like
I've been big on
fishnet.
fiber lately, and my shits are just flying out.
I know.
Clean pinch every time.
I've been big on black beans. I've been buying cans of black beans, just having that as a meal. A nice can of beans.
I've been eating.
Nice.
I've been having a green smoothie and oatmeal for breakfast every day.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Happy to hear that.
starting the day off with some fuel, with some power.
What do you mean every day?
2 days in a row. Well, because I've realized that I don't eat a lot in the morning, and then if I don't eat in the morning and I have shit all day, like we've been filming this show, so like I just won't eat until like 6 p.m. and then I get like the worst stomach ache imaginable, and it's because I'm not eating.
Yeah.
So I've been making a strong effort to eat something healthy in the morning.
I genuinely think I have an assertion, which is that if I had the choice to have whatever cocktail I want,
Okay.
drink of alcohol for the rest of my life, it might be a pina colada with a rum float.
Oh, I don't need the rum float, but pina coladas are amazing.
Dude, you got to do the rum float.
Why? To get more tanked or because it tastes better?
I think it tastes better. It cuts down the sweetness a little bit. I mix it in.
Yeah.
I don't just sip. I don't go half rum float, half.
Because that is the problem why I wouldn't be able to eat them every day is because they're so fucking
Well,
sweet.
I only have one. You only need one, really. But
You
boy,
get
oh boy,
banged
a
up off
mixed
one?
blended drink, a blended iced drink at a beach bar, hot
It's
area.
refreshing,
My God.
coconut, pineapple.
And they got the best blenders for whatever reason. When those blenders, you get those blenders going, those ones puree.
Yeah.
Whereas
ninjas.
like a home blender, whenever I've tried to make a crushed, blended drink at home, you get ice chunks in it.
You need a ninja.
You need the one that they have on White Lotus.
Yeah.
Don't you guys think that this isn't spoiler, this is theories for White Lotus, that there's going to be something with that blender in the last episode?
I don't know anything about the blender.
Have you watched?
I haven't seen last night's episode.
Oh, it
Blender wasn't even in last night's episode.
Wasn't in last night, but
Maybe
You
I'm
know
too behind.
Schwarzenegger. He's always blending something. He's asking his brother. He's like, "You want a protein shake? Let's
Yes,
get you some
yeah.
protein."
Yeah.
why would that be like such a prevalent
Someone's head is going through that fucking blender.
or the poison fruit?
Do they have poison fruit?
Didn't they talk about that in like the first episode?
I think so. Yeah,
Wow.
I
That's
don't
good
know.
thinking.
that's a good theory.
Don't you think that there's something with that blend? They keep on coming back to the blender.
Guys, have you been up to speed on the Karen Reed trial? I realize this is very so many people are so dialed into this that it
I
feels
haven't- I
crazy
haven't
to
at
even
all.
bring it up.
I only know what I've seen in the Chinese newspapers.
I honestly, I've only heard about it from other people.
Zilong Fattori or Karen Reed.
Oh, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What is it? What's going on? Wait.
Well,
So
HBO
what's the story?
Max did a documentary that let me tell you, I didn't know anything about the case. I just had missed it and then thought I was too late to catch up.
Yeah.
I watched this Max documentary on the Karen Reed trial as if I was guzzling pina coladas.
Really?
It was unbelievably scintillating. Now, I'm sure, as all documentaries are, that this one was quite biased.
What's the case? What happened?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't really know anything about it.
So, a Boston police officer
I know everything about it. Take that back.
was killed in the middle of the night at a house outside. The next morning, his body was found.
Yeah.
He'd been hit in the head. He was bleeding.
Mhm.
And he had whatever. Yeah, his arm was covered in scratches. And there are two possibilities basically. That one is that Karen Reed, his girlfriend, they got into a fight. She dropped him off at the house and she backed her car up into him and hit him. And then he fell backwards, hit his head, and passed out and died in the snow.
Yeah.
Another alternative theory, because she says that she didn't do that at all, is that he went into the house where his cop buddies were.
Mm-hmm.
She left because she was angry. Something happened inside that house. His cop buddies got into a fight, killed him somehow, and then dragged his body outside and planted it in the snow where he died, was dead or died.
Nah, that didn't happen.
fentanyl.
Dude, you gotta watch this. It is so nuanced. It is so impossible. Look, I haven't followed the particulars of the case. I'm sure I'm very naive, at least from the presentation of this documentary, which I'm sure is very biased. I was back and forth the whole time. My theory and my conviction was a game of tennis.
Is this real? Is the documentary really good?
It's unbelievable.
All right, I'll watch it tonight.
This is an unbelievable story.
No spoilers.
You gotta watch it.
I'll watch it tonight.
And it's just beyond belief, dude. I've never been so.
Why would they just drag him just outside?
Sounds like the Kansas City dudes.
Chiefs, Kelsey Mahomes.
No, those guys that all died. They all died in the snow. But it turned out they were doing coke and they had fentanyl in it. But it was like they all got an Airbnb together, and like one of them was asleep inside, and then the other three were all just dead in the snow outside.
These
And he
are
had like
the
no idea.
two theories that were presented by the defense and the prosecution. The defense said he was killed and she was by his buddies and she was framed for it.
Got it.
The prosecution says he was killed by Karen Reed when she backed her car up and hit him.
Didn't she just come out with like a makeup line too?
There's been a lot of publicity around her.
Doesn't she? Isn't she got signed to Alex Cooper's podcast network too?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unwell.
No, my sense is that like if she did it, I feel like she's been getting so much publicity about it without knowing even anything about the case. You have to be such a sociopath to be like seeking the publicity once you have committed a murder. Very Gone Girl-ish.
That was part of the strategy of her team, though, was to bring it out and make it a huge public thing. Because by rallying public support for her,
because everybody's like, "Oh, she's hot."
Well, I don't know.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I'd love to see her in a Matt Damon movie.
Is she hot?
She's
my
attractive.
god!
Yeah, she's attractive.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call her the most
describe
stunning
her
woman
to
ever.
me.
Well, let me say something. There was a cop, a lead detective who was going through the evidence.
Yeah,
he kind of took all the evidence from the case.
Yeah.
And they read the text messages that he sent to other cops about the case. And they were like, someone was like, "Is she hot at least?" And he goes, "Yeah, she's like a bombshell. No ass though." and then someone was like, and he was like, "She's a crazy fucking whack job cunt." Dang. And he has to read these texts to the whole courtroom.
Yeah.
And then
were they laughing?
And then he goes, "No nudes yet," because he's going through her phone.
Oh,
dude,
brutal.
This guy ends up losing his job.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, it was really bad. It was really, really bad.
Yeah.
Just because he's doing a little detective work?
I know, seriously.
What happened to our thin blue line?
No.
Back to blue.
It was really bad. But I don't know.
That
dude.
seems like all crucial evidence to me.
I can't wait until Amy Ryan plays her in the next
Yeah.
Gone
She's
Baby
44.
Gone.
Rack,
That would be the
ass needs work.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the cop who died could not have been a more sort of lovable person. His sister had passed away, I think, and then her husband passed away shortly thereafter, orphaning their two young children, whom
anyone looking into that
adopted, and just as a single dad took over the sort of parenting of his niece and nephew.
Anyone looking into that?
Yeah,
though?
she did it for sure. She was probably jealous of all the attention that he was given to the kids, and she fucking threw that thing in reverse.
Yeah.
Dude, the Boston accents in this case, in this documentary, are unbelievable. They're just amazing. It is tailor-made for a Ben Affleck movie.
Everybody in Boston wants to be a detective so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody thinks they're like an undercover cop.
This is kind of like
I'm actually a cop.
I'm already picturing it.
I could have been a cop.
It's like Gone Girl.
/ Gone Baby Gone / The Town
meets Casey Anthony meets
Amanda Knox.
So good.
Yeah,
doesn't get much better than that.
I'm actually a cop.
You either taking heat or you're taking heat.
I don't go watch the documentary. We would all talk about it. Maybe
Remy Bressant. She was killed by Remy Bressant.
I'm sure it's old news now to everyone else, but
now people are like obsessed about
dude,
it.
I was so glad that I had not followed the case, so that when I watched this documentary, I just couldn't even breathe.
Yeah.
I was chugging it. Episode ends right into
How many
the
episodes
next.
are there?
5.
I'm gonna watch them
An
all
hour
tonight.
each. I watched it back to back to back to back to back. I haven't been that hooked on something in a long time.
I'm now excited to watch it today.
It was excellent. It is very in favor of her, I would say. It's much more favorable to her.
Yeah, because Alex Cooper is fucking producing it.
Yeah.
Well, she also greenlit the doc and is the featured player of it. I mean, she's giving literal interviews to the documentary filmmakers as the case is developing.
I don't understand how that's legal.
Well, this is what makes the case so hard, and may have been a strategy of the defense, which is that you create a world where there isn't a single person you can select for a jury who has not already heard about the case and can render an impartial verdict. But that's
what's
why
the motive of the cop buddies? What's the implied motive that they would have?
Roughhousing?
The theory of the defense is that this is a grand conspiracy where the Canton Police Department is, they're all looking out for each other. One of their own ended up killing the one of their own, and then they're all covering it up on his behalf. It seems far-fetched to me.
We need to put Mayor of Easttown on the case. Get
But-
a Philly girl up there.
There are a
Set 'em
lot of
straight.
pieces. There are a lot of pieces of the Karen Reed theory that are a little kind of don't make that much sense either, and which makes me believe that maybe there's a third scenario.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
There may be a completely different situation that happened, but I don't know, man.
Has anybody looked into ghosts maybe being part of it?
Yeah, I feel weird
It
even
was
talking
close to
about it.
Salem.
This has turned into almost like a civil war in Boston of opinion,
Interesting.
You're
'cause my
either
sister
for the
was telling me
police
about it a little bit.
or you're for
Yeah.
Karen Reed.
I haven't heard anything. I really haven't seen much about it even online, but my sister told me about it, and then you just
Jerry
talked about it.
Thornton's been blogging up a storm about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh my God, he was probably like, any ass on her? You
Mm.
find any nudes?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if she did have an ass, though.
Put the Boston Police Department.
Hmm.
Leak them.
Imagine if there was ass and
Post the
nudes.
leaks.
The whole BPD would have the nudes fucking
Oh,
flying
yeah.
through their... You'd have to subpoena every phone in the fucking tri-state area. Thank God she didn't have any ass.
Dude, it is amazing to see true crime documentaries in the present day.
Yeah.
I think I've made this point, but when you watch ones about, Ted Bundy, right?
Ted Bundy one, I think, is one of the best.
It's one of the
documentaries
best
ever.
But it's just shocking to learn things like, he managed to elude police because 2 police departments that were a town apart don't communicate.
Yeah.
There's no uniformity of their databases.
Yeah.
Before the internet, like they didn't know. So he escaped simply by getting on a bus.
Yeah.
And the people in this state couldn't get in touch with these people. Now, and there's no footage, right? There's no footage of anything. There's no security
There's no DNA.
cameras. So they're using reenactments. A lot of those true crime docs use dramatic reenactments where some shadowy figure is slow motion walking down the hall as a narrator describes hearing his footsteps.
Does that do it for you?
No.
No, those are awful.
It's awful.
Sucks.
They did that in the Epstein documentary, and it was one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever seen.
Yeah, like that should have its own documentary about whoever staged.
Well, they
the
didn't have
reenactments.
reenactments of the molesting. They had reenactments of like the actual victims, like walking into the courthouse for the first day,
Yeah.
like crying, and there's like a shit ton of cameras everywhere.
So it's so shit.
and it's like, why would you make them relive this moment?
Well, they're not using the actual victims as they're not playing themselves.
In the Epstein documentary, they were.
You're telling me that the victims of Jeffrey Epstein
Yes.
did those dramatic reenactments in the documentary
Yes.
and walked into the courtroom
Yes.
Yes.
as themselves? Is that true?
That's
They're
exactly
SAG.
what I'm. That's
No, they're
exactly what I'm
SAG.
telling you.
Whoa.
They're hired actors.
If that's true, that is really bizarre.
There was like, I think there was 1 or 2 who were like, they were grown up, but they were victims, obviously, when they were younger.
I mean,
And-
I didn't watch that one, but I could see them giving interviews, but But
I've talked about this on the podcast before. Maybe I didn't make it ever make it clear that.
Did you see the clip of RFK Jr. Talking to Jesse Waters, and Jesse Waters was like, and just to be clear, you were never on Epstein's plane, and RFK's like, I was on his plane 2 times. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
dude.
Annie Farmer, Self, Survivor, Shauna Rivera, Survivor. Yeah, there's like, it's all these people are all actual.
Yeah, but again, they could be getting those credits simply because they were interviewed and gave testimonials.
Dude, I'm telling you, they did. There were scenes where they'd be like strolling on the beach, like crying, and there'd be like a nice like sunset in the background, and then there would be a scene of them walking into the courthouse.
Okay.
For full on reenactments. It's bizarre.
Well, what I was going to say, and I may have made this point before, is that true crime documentaries are going to become and have become, to me, so much more interesting because as these crimes always continue to happen and divisive cases present themselves, we will, as viewers of these documentaries, be blessed with Ring camera footage.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And fucking, evidence that's like up to speed and much more modern sort of investigative procedures that just make things, I don't know, much more convincing one way or the other.
I have a hard time with true crime now. Like I used to be, I was into it a lot when like the Ted Bundy documentary came out, and then I watched like the Night Stalker documentary, which was awesome.
Yeah, I didn't love that one.
I thought that
pretty
one was
fucked.
crazy.
There was just too much bad shit.
Yeah, and then I
got
watched,
a little weighted down by it.
That was like, I didn't get weighted down by that.
You just want garden variety murder.
Yeah, murder and rape together.
Was he raping?
The Night Stalker?
Yeah.
I thought so.
I thought he was just pulling up and just killing people and leaving.
Wasn't that the one?
He probably raped, realistically.
Wasn't that the one where he was raping people and making the husbands watch out in California, and it turned out to be a cop?
No.
Well, I don't know which one I'm thinking. I'll look it up. It's
This
the
was
one
like
that Patton Oswalt's wife was investigating, writing a book about.
Yes.
And then she died.
Yeah, I think. But no, this was the guy. He was like a Mexican bro. His name was like Rodriguez or some shit. And like he would just go to like nice neighborhoods in Hollywood and just kill people, and then, or in California, and then go back and stay at that fucking hotel.
I'm thinking of All Be Gone in the Dark.
Yeah.
Did you watch that one?
No.
Yeah, that one was pretty heavy.
The Night Stalker one was good. And then I tried to watch the John Wayne Gacy one. And then that one I think was the last full. I guess like the Murdaugh one was really good. I liked that.
That one was good. And that was more modern.
That was more modern.
Which I liked.
The John Wayne Gacy one was literally just graphic stories of him killing young boys.
Did you watch The Jinx?
But that's the HBO one, right?
Probably for me is the one that almost spawned
because that one happens
genre
during the case, right?
True crime docs. Sorry,
does that one happen? That one happens during the case, right?
The documentary, yeah, they catch him
because there's the part 2 is supposed to be like insane, right?
I don't think people told me the part 2 wasn't as good.
Oh, I thought the part 2 was the one where they like revealed that they had him on camera.
No, that's the end of part 1.
Interesting.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Murdaugh one was really good, and I'll check out this one. But yeah, the true crime stuff for me got a little too. I was kind of like, well, I started to be fully honest. I watched the Dahmer movie, and then I watched a documentary about Dahmer, and then I watched the other Dahmer movie, and then I started listening to the audiobook that his dad wrote.
Boy, you really...
And then about halfway through that, I was like, this is weird. I'm done with this. And since then, I haven't really gotten into true crime.
Yeah, you were a real Dahmophile there.
Well, I just found it interesting.
Well, and then clearly
reading about like the dad's book was actually very interesting, but it was kind of like, I don't need to know all this.
I couldn't watch the show.
The show was pretty fucked
because I couldn't handle it. I tried for 5 minutes and I was like, I know where this is going and I don't want any part of it.
The show was pretty crazy. It was pretty good though. It's just tough to be like, you got to check this one out. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's the perversity of the human spirit.
Yeah.
I'm not into any of the true crime stuff.
No. What are you into?
I find it to be a ball. I find it to be a little gossipy.
Rowan, you've literally watched reality TV.
With my wife.
You watch like Summer House.
To be a companion to my wife.
No, if your wife wasn't around, you'd still be watching that shit and you know it.
I've never watched it without, and it's with especially
You've
this
never watched
cast.
it without your wife because you guys have to like watch together because you're caught up on the same episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's normal.
I watched it to support my wife.
If
One
your
day
wife-
you'll know true love, I promise
If your
you.
wife wasn't around, I know you'd be still tuning in. Oh shit, Summer House is on tonight.
I've never watched any
I
of
gotta
those
run
shows
home.
without.
Dude, you went to the convention by yourself. You went to the Bravo convention.
This is a lie,
alone.
and this is showing your privilege.
He actually did. He actually did. Did you know that?
No,
Listen,
I didn't.
He went to the Bravo convention solo
You two got
and
some
like
kind
took
of bad blood
photos.
today.
Took photos with the reality stars.
No, my wife did with her friend, and I stayed at home.
you went. I
No, I
remember you
didn't.
going.
I went to Watch What Happens Live with my wife as a birthday present.
It was you would have gone by yourself.
I would have.
You got a VIP ticket and you didn't get your wife one. You had her go wait in general admission and you went backstage and met the stars.
Dude, you're trying to deflect from the fact that you would take apart the shopping carts and scatter the fucking wheels and handlebars in different corners of the parking lot just to make it harder on the poor 13-year-old who had just been molested. You waited until right after they were molested to try to scatter and make a fucking
I felt bad.
scavenger hunt.
I did feel bad that I said that they were molested, but it just felt right at the moment.
I know a kid who got his dick grabbed at he was working in the checkout of a grocery store when he was like 15, and someone grabbed his dick.
I'm sure.
And he got so fucking jacked afterwards, like shredded, like
It's tough to
big
see.
body. I think he wound up doing boxing and shit like that. Like he would beat the fuck out of people.
So it
Yeah.
fucked him up.
Well, I mean, fucked a lot of people up.
It's like the third act of Moonlight.
What happens in the third act of Moonlight?
I don't
He's
know. All I remember is that
super
one dude
jacked.
getting sucked off.
He's incredibly jacked.
Oh yeah, he's like the Rock.
The most jacked dude I've ever seen on TV,
Yeah.
on a television screen.
Man, what a movie! That movie.
I was more into La La Land that year.
Yeah, I was more into anything other than Moonlight.
I'm joking. La La Land sucked ass. But isn't that the one that they said won the Oscar instead of?
They announced the wrong one. Yeah.
What even was Moonlight?
I don't know. A beautiful portrayal of a tortured, closeted gay young.
You liked
young
that
man.
movie?
My heart broke watching it. It was very sad. I felt horrible for him.
Crazy.
I thought it was nowhere near like the best movie that year. And nor was La La Land. I thought they were both trash. And that's when
Moonlight was some dog shit.
And that's when I was living in LA writing for that battle rap show, and it was like a diss. I think it was one of the disses in one of the battle raps that like you like La La Land better than Moonlight.
Really?
It's like you didn't like Moonlight. It was like a
Oh, because
Hollywood
I forgot.
diss.
Yeah.
But
And
I
you said
also-
you said the battle rap scene got pretty woke for a minute, right?
Well, that was the battle rap show, so it was like I mean that whole show had people like walking off if you like compared two people of the same race. If you like said an Indian person looked like
Yeah.
another Indian person, like there were multiple people that like refused to do the show. Like
That's
people literally
crazy.
drove off the set because they're like, this is not what I signed up for. I think it was the wokest that Hollywood's ever been. Not to be an anti-woke crusader, but
Thought La La Land was better than Moonlight.
I swear to God,
What an insane diss. You should have just clapped back and been like, I didn't watch either of them.
I mean,
There's-
can I be honest with you? I loved La La Land.
I actually have heard. I never saw it, but I heard it was great.
What'd you like about it?
it?
City of Stars.
I liked the music. I thought it was catchy. That boom 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 boom.
It's also got Emma Stone in it. Can't go wrong.
I
with a
love
little
her. I thought their relationship
Stone. I'm a
was
stoner.
I didn't like her until Poor Things. I wasn't a stoner till I saw her dump him out in Poor Things. Then I was like, all right, Bush? We're doing Bush?
Yeah, start. I'm stoners. Emma Stone fans.
you would like her.
I'm a big stoner.
Yeah, I do like her.
Stoner.
I just told you I'm a stoner, bro.
Yeah.
What did you just like the fantastical
I liked the
representation of
music.
Hollywood?
I don't know. I thought it was funny. I thought
Funny?
No, it broke. I didn't like that. I
Broke
felt
your
very,
heart?
Your
very-
heart gets broken easily.
2017 was a
Unsatisfied.
heartbreaking year.
Yeah,
Didn't Fences come out that year too? Heartbreaking movie.
that is a heartbreaking movie,
August Wilson.
That
which I
one-
saw. I saw the
The
play
play.
with Denzel.
I saw the play.
I read the play.
Split my heart into 6,000 pieces.
You
Nuked
don't
my
have
heart.
a heart. You are utterly devoid of heart.
Broke
Did
my
I tell
heart
you
into a
guys that I
trillion
saw?
pieces, still trying to put it back together.
Told you guys I saw Glenn Ross with Bill Burr, right?
Oh, you went and saw it?
Yeah.
How was it? I think you said you were going to see it. I don't know if you ever talked about you saw it.
Yeah, I went and saw it.
On your birthday.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. I just don't really like the play that much.
What's it about again? Like a overbearing father in sales or something?
No, it's salesmen, and they are selling, I guess, like condos or real estate units. It's never really that clear, and they're all vying for commissions and quotas, and ultimately there's some corruption and it gets revealed, but it's just, I don't know. It was not that compelling. And the cast was unbelievable. It's Kieran Culkin, Bob Odenkirk, Bill Burr. I actually thought Bill Burr's acting was maybe the best of any of the characters. Really? Yeah, I really did.
Shout out Bill.
And then the guy from Better Call Saul, who is his brother, who's like allergic to electromagnetic waves. I don't know if you guys ever watched that. He's in it. Michael McKean, I think is his name. So a pretty all-star, stellar cast.
So I'm hearing all white males is what I'm hearing.
The boss of the company was a black actor.
There we go.
But
thank God. You got to watch Omer. You got to go see Omer.
I'd like to.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a play.
I've got to get out to Broadway soon.
That's a fucking play. Omer. I'll get you some tickets.
I'd love to.
It's the least I could do.
For my birthday.
We talked about Mary Todd, right?
Yeah.
How because of how much of a bitch she was.
Yeah.
The grants did not go to Ford's Theater the night that Lincoln was assassinated. They were supposed to sit in the box with him.
You gotta go see that. Where'd you sit at the play?
Good seats.
But what's your definition of good seats?
Orchestra. In front of the overhang.
You were up by the pit?
There was no pit in that theater, I don't think.
That's what we would call the orchestra.
Glenn Ross.
You are showing your naivete.
My lack of privilege.
Maybe stick to the Lion King, kiddo.
I apologize. My lack of privilege is
showing. The orchestra refers to the lowest level of seating.
Got it.
Maybe
when I went to plays,
stick to Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Something more your speed.
Not familiar.
Donny Osmond?
Nah, not ringing a bell.
You don't know who Donny Osmond is?
Not ringing any bells.
Jesus Christ.
It may refer to that because that's usually where the orchestra pit is. So I might give you half credit. I'm gonna have to look this up.
Brother, you're talking to someone who
stick to Les Mis, bro. Stick to the Phantom of the Opera.
You keep trying to see, that's a good one. You can that works. Phantom of the Opera. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. That movie or that play. Sorry.
That movie.
My bad.
That book. The book is incredible.
That showing is phenomenal.
Yeah, okay. Look at this. Oh, this is a full circle moment. You guys ready for this?
I was right.
The low level of seating in a theater or concert hall is called the orchestra because it's historically the area where the orchestra or chorus would perform in ancient Greek amphitheaters.
And do they call it the pit?
Amphibian eaters. And the term evolved to describe the seating closest to the stage. All right, I'm going half credit for you on that one.
But they never mentioned the pit?
No.
Interesting.
You ever see Phantom of the Opera in the round?
The only time I've ever seen Phantom of the Opera was when our high school did it. And it was phenomenal.
They did. That's a big play to put on.
Who played Christine Daae?
My sister was in the pit. She was in the orchestra.
What'd she play?
Violin.
God damn.
The Phantom of the Opera is here. Inside your mind.
All right. I'll be in Kansas City.
Oh, we're ending it.
First weekend of May.
I was just getting heated up.
I thought I had some more juice in
the
tank.
I need to go. I'm starving. You guys are going to do that? You're going to do that? You're going to make me look like the guy who fucking called it quits? You know what? Let's do it.
Good. I guess we'll just end it.
Let's keep talking.
No, it's ended.
Let's keep singing show tunes.
Let's end it.
keep going. On you.
I'm done.
I don't have anything left.
I got nothing left.
Sherry Yin.
Well, tank just went to empty.
I am going to be in Winnipeg this weekend.
Which is just north of Minnesota.
And it sounds like I'm going to be doing a Verdansk Call of Duty stream April 7th, next Monday, with Mook and Hank. And potentially my buddy Matt. But he probably won't do that, so we'll see. Maybe Jerry.
I've got all kinds of stuff. Providence is April 11th and 12th. West Nyack, New York, that's April 27th. Kansas City, May 2nd and 3rd. Dallas is May 16th and 17th and 18th. Chicago, big Chicago weekend in the first weekend of June. On and on it goes. So, tickets at punchup.live/Francis Ellis. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Thanks to everyone who came to my shows in Stamford, too. They were very fun. I had a great time. Thanks for coming. Goodbye.